the story without leaving anything out. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so this, as I said, is the story of Leonarda Cianciulli, also known as the soap maker of Correggio. I might be saying that wrong. She was born in Italy in 1893. Unfortunately, she was the result of a violent attack on her mother, if you know what I mean. And back in those days, it was too much of a shame for her mother to come forward and report what had happened. And since she was pregnant, what she had to do to protect her reputation was she had to marry her attacker. Can you imagine that? So, her mother became an extremely unhappy woman and showed no love whatsoever to Leonarda. And then the father died when Leonarda was pretty young, leaving her alone with a mother who pretty much hated her. And if that wasn't bad enough, they were really poor, and Leonarda had epilepsy. So things were not going well for her. Anyway, the mother eventually remarried and had more children with her new husband. These new children she showed plenty of love to and plenty of affection, but still, Leonarda received no love, leaving her isolated and depressed. She attempted suicide twice as a child, and she also tried to hurt herself by eating glass. Leonarda began looking for answers, so she started seeing a fortune teller to find out how her life was going to turn out. She was told that she would marry and have lots and lots and lots of children, but all her children would die before Leonarda died. Of course, this news left her distraught, and she began to feel very superstitious and paranoid, and she believed that her mother had actually put a curse on her, and this is why things were as they were. So, she went to see another palm reader, okay, who told her that she was either going to end up in a prison or an asylum. But she didn't say anything bad about the children at this point, so that was good. And Leonarda's husband wasn't making enough money for them to live, so they were really struggling, and I wasn't able to find out what exactly she did, but she committed fraud to pay their bills, and she was put in prison in 1927 for 10 months. Shortly after getting out, an earthquake hit where she was living, and she lost her home. See, lots and lots of things are going wrong for this woman. So, where was I? So they moved. Okay. And she opened a shop so she could make money. And in this shop, she sold homemade soap and cakes. And she told fortunes herself. You know, she was a good saleswoman. And she noticed that people would pay more when they heard what they wanted to hear in their fortune. So she would tell them what they wanted to hear. And she started to get a pretty good reputation around town. So people wanted to come and get their fortunes told by her. Okay, so at this point, she had a baby who died right after birth. And she went to another fortune teller who told her that if she gave her soul to the devil, then her children would live. So she went ahead and had another baby, and it survived, and she was becoming more and more paranoid and superstitious, but she wasn't willing to give her soul to the devil. She was willing to sacrifice other people's souls, though. So, now, another thing was she began fighting with her husband, and he had become a serious alcoholic. So they broke up, and World War II was upon them, and her oldest son was drafted she served them tea cakes made out of their loved one. Crazy. But anyway, they had no proof, and that was that. Then, a few weeks later, a well-known 53-year-old ex-opera singer came along. She was looking for a new job because her singing career had come to an abrupt end. Same old story. Go sell your things, write your letters, come back, I'll help you. Same thing, same thing, same thing. Okay, but this woman was on the heavy side. So, Leonarda noticed that she had a lot of fat that she could use to make not only tea cakes, but soap, because she could use fat to make soap. So, she added perfume to the fat and made soap. And Leonarda claims that this lady turned into the most delicious cakes, better than all the others. She had said something about how, sometimes when you eat a piece of meat, like a piece of steak, for example, some are just tastier than others, and same thing, this woman was just tastier than the others. So, now this was, as I said, a well-known woman, and the police came looking because once again they heard that she had been visiting Leonarda's shop when she went missing. Not that they really thought or dreamed in their wildest nightmares that Leonarda had chopped them up, okay? But just they had come for more information. So, she sat the police down and fed them tea cakes. Can't make this stuff up. Well, then they started suggesting, you know what? Maybe you didn't do it, Leonarda. You're a small woman. You couldn't do anything, really. But maybe it was your son who did it. Yeah, it was your son. Now, Leonarda loved her children. The four that she had living, she loved them more than anything, more than herself. So she said, you know what? I'm gonna come clean with this because my son is not gonna get in trouble for this. So she admitted all that she had done to the police. She confessed. And she was found insane. Go figure. And she was sentenced to 30 years. 30 years. The first 3 years she served in an asylum, and the rest in prison. Remember what the palm reader had said to her? You're going to spend your life you're going to wind up either in an asylum or a prison. Well, she wound up in both. How did these fortune tellers come up with such accurate readings? I don't know. Anyway, she died in prison at age 76 of natural causes. She wrote journals while she was there. That's how we know her story. And if you want to visit the Criminology Museum in Rome, you will be able to see the tools and the pots and photos that belong to her. So, course, it's an extremely